Hello, I'm Rick Steiner, and welcome to Lux Life Discovered. My guest today is Red. We've got like Cher and Madonna. We have Red.
Red,
So yeah,
that's
so
it.
thank you for being with us today.
Nice to be here. Thank you so much.
So you have a local bar and restaurant called Red's
Pub.
Pub. Okay,
The new location is called Red's Pub someplace else.
okay, I
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
So tell us about, well, first of all, your new location. You kind of had to make that shift due to.
We had to make a shift. We had a change in landlords within the last few years of at the old location. And they decided to renovate, and they decided to renovate it without me. And that's fine. That's their decision. It's their business. So we knew in August that we were going to make a change. And we started looking for locations. And this one came up, and then it disappeared again, like somebody else took it from under us. And so then we found out that the new landlords were going to renovate sooner than they had officially initially said that they were going to.
At your other place, yeah.
And then this location came back up again.
Oh,
So it kind of happened like it was meant to be in the long run.
right.
Now, the old location came with a kitchen. I was part of my lease was leasing a kitchen. So I could only be open in the evening when they weren't using the kitchen in the afternoon for their deli.
Okay.
This location, we came into a blank slate, and we built a kitchen, and my chef, Josh, designed it. And so that it's a small kitchen, but it's an easy flow in and out.
Right.
And very, very dear, good friend, James, said he would foreman the project and find me the helpers and that sort of thing. And we built a bar, we built a kitchen, we built an ADA bathroom, which it did not have. The only thing it had in the space was an air conditioner that mostly works. There's no heat. We discovered that this week. There's no heat.
Yeah.
Well, it's Florida.
That needs it, yeah.
Who thought we needed heat? 6 inches of snow
I
later.
know, isn't that crazy?
Crazy. So we built it. We put in floors. We framed in the kitchen. We put in a hood, and it's been a project. And if you had asked me what I was going to be doing for my 60th year on this earth, it wasn't going to be that.
I was going to say 6 months, 9 months ago, this was not even.
There was no.
No plan,
I mean,
so.
we've been kind of talking about it for a couple of years, honestly. But I was comfortable where I was. I was happy there. People knew me there. I'm the bar behind the gas station,
Right.
and that was part of the kitsch. But we sort of been bouncing around the idea of what if, and then it went from what if to in your face.
Right.
You've got to do this.
There's no what if. It's like,
Well,
here's what you have to do.
we even actually bounced around the idea of not. I mean, we recently acquired an RV,
Yes.
a giant RV. Giant. It's giant. It's the same size as my house.
Does your
Okay.
husband ever get you into things that you wonder?
Every day of my life, Rick. Every day of my life.
Right.
So we thought about, well, before we knew they were actually renovating us out, we said, well, why don't we take the 4 months that they're going to be renovating and just take the show on the road? I mean, there's people all over the country who are customers that we've built up a clientele over the years who said, if you come to my town, I'll get you gigs here. And I had a guy in Colorado said, I'll put you up for 3 months. Come and do your gig for 3 months. So we kind of considered going on the road.
Yeah.
And then the space became available, and then we have friends who, an architect friend came in and said he would draw it, and then James, who's a builder and contractor, said he would do it, and Jetty, who runs the plaza over there, is a general contractor. She said she would pull the permits. So it became the whole family of my family,
Yeah.
meaning my friends, all said, no, let's do this. You need your own place. And a very, very good friend who's very close to us right now said, I will help you and I will back you, and let's get this done. So
And aren't you thankful for those friends and
Oh,
family that
I
came through?
wake up every day, and even on the days when I'm like, I don't feel that well right now. I have a little bit of a cold thing going on, which everybody's had. Um, I wake up every day and I say, all of these people believed in me, so I can't let them down in any way, and that gives me the inspiration to get my ass to work. Can you say that? Sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
To get
Yeah.
my behind to work. Hey,
Well,
I've been good so far.
yeah. No, and that does make a big difference. When you know people believe in you and what you're doing, it sure makes it a whole different perspective.
It does. It does. And it really it means, and trying to stay as humble as possible, because this is a very humbling experience. I mean, the people that I have had to bend over for, um, and I mean, it's not easy.
And a lot
I
of
mean,
things are out of your
the
control.
county
You just have
requires
to
17 permits for one thing.
Yeah.
I had to have 4 different permits just to have the hood installed. 4 different permits. The fire permit, the electric permit, the permit for the installation of the suppression system. 4 permits just for the
And
hood.
then you're waiting on everybody else's time frame as they come to do that. So you've learned a lot about patience, about golly, perseverance.
Well, I've had patience, but I don't think I've learned enough about it yet.
Well, that's sometimes why we get in these situations so we can learn more. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. I did this to learn.
Yeah. Just you think.
It's a good way to put it, Ray.
Yeah. All right. So now tell me about how did you get into entertaining originally? Like, have you always done that, or has that been your interest?
Well, I started singing when I was very, very young, and always did church choir, and for the talent show when I was in elementary school, years ago, in the 4th grade, I sang to a Cher record. So I've always been an alto.
Yeah.
And half breed, how I learn to hate the word. I mean, in the 4th grade for the talent show, and was always in choir, was always in music. Never learned to play an instrument, which is interesting, because I wanted to be a ballerina when I was a kid.
Okay. All right.
But I'm legally blind in my left eye, so doing Sinead turns to the left is not a possibility. You just one and fall down.
Right.
Because you can't spot. But I wanted to be a ballerina. But I always knew I wanted to be on the stage. And then I just sang my whole life. And then when I was in junior high school and high school, I always did the shows, whatever shows we were putting on. 6th grade, I did The Wizard of Oz with my 6th grade reading class. I was a munchkin in the beginning and a tree in the end. Because the other kids said I sang too much like a city girl to play Dorothy.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because I was.
Yeah.
Well, because in that day and age, you sang pretty. You didn't belt it out,
Sure. Yeah.
So I was a belter from the time I was.
If you're a belter, they thought, okay, she can't sing.
She can't do pretty.
Yeah.
It's all good. But anyway, that's learning experience too. So yeah, you learn to adapt, and so yeah, and then I did musical theater in high school, and just always sang, but it never became a professional thing. Like, I never joined a band. I never did any of that. I taught ballroom dancing. So it's always been a little bit a part of my life. And when the karaoke became a thing, in the late 80s, early 90s, I would find the karaoke bars and I would go sing. And then I met this one. And he heard me sing one night at the English pub that we used to go to, Trafalgar Arms in Fort Lauderdale, had a karaoke night, and I sang. And he's like, "Why are you a bartender? You should be singing."
That's not what I said. I said, "Why aren't you a singer?"
Okay, something like that. We recall it slightly differently. I said, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
And then he said, "Go ahead." Anyway, so from then on, every time we went to a karaoke bar, he would put songs in for me under the name Red, R-E-D-D.
Yeah.
Like Cher, or Madonna, or One Name.
What's New Pussy?
Yeah, that's it.
That was one of the songs?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the hell that's about. Anyway, so it became a thing. So then we were living in Key West, and I was working at Louis' Backyard, which is a pretty famous restaurant down there, bartending. And then I would host a karaoke show at the drag bar called Aqua on Monday nights. And the owner there, I said, they had this thing where they have, she gave me my own show on Sunday nights. And I would go in and sing for a couple hours, and then Baby T would come in and she would sing for a couple hours. And they have this thing there called the dueling bartenders. And they would, on Monday afternoons for happy hour, they would sing and bartend at the same time. And it was two drag queens, but singing drag queens. So female impersonators, technically,
Right.
if you want to get into it. And I said to Jill, who was the owner of the club at the time, I said, your Saturday happy hours are kind of crap. And I could sing and bartend because my days at the Louis were weekdays. I said, so give me a shot at singing and bartending at the same time like the dueling bartenders do. And let's see what happens. And I took a happy hour that was minimal and I made it good.
Right. Okay.
And then we moved here. And then
And you're like, what am I going to do?
he
now?
was friends with Sally, who owned the convenience store. And she opened a bar in the back where there used to be a residence. And I came in to work for her. And it was kind of, Joe Bob and Jim Bob coming in every day for their $3 Budweisers at happy hour. And I couldn't make a living like that. So I said, I used to do this thing in Key West where I was the singing bartender. And she said, well, you could try it, but I'm not going to promote it. I said, well, I got that covered. I live with the king of promoters.
True.
And so we built it. And I did it a couple nights a week. And we were selling out every time. People would come and get their $10 meatloaf and their $3 Bud Lights. And then the oil spill happened. The year that we were just on the break of making it, the oil spill happened. And that shut us down for that summer, as you may or may not recall. And then she didn't want to run it anymore. And she decided to lease it. And I wasn't ready. So she leased it to somebody else, and that didn't work. It was great. It just was not a good business plan that they put in there. And the whole time they were there, this one kept saying, you could do this, right? You can do this. And I was like, I can do this. So 11 and a half years later, not only can I do it, but I'm doing it in a new location.
Right. And who knew that back then what all was ahead for you? Yeah. So what all types of music do you sing?
I don't sing rap.
Okay, you don't sing rap, all
He
right?
does.
It's easy. That's true. You've got a good point there. I do country, I do disco, I do 60s, 70s, 80s, jazz, blues, musical theater, rock, pop rock. I don't do a lot of Motown. I don't know if Melanie counts as Motown because I got a brand new pair of roller skates.
Barry White.
I do some Barry White, but I don't do a lot of Motownish stuff.
Okay.
But almost anything else.
Do people ask you, like, do requests? Do you do that?
We
or-
do requests for
Okay.
tips.
Okay.
I could do the rundown for you if you want.
All right.
I'll try to eliminate the F-bombs.
Okay.
Welcome to Red's Pub. My name is Red. That's Red with 2 D's, one here and one here. Here are the rules. Rule number 1, if you like what I'm singing, you clap. Rule number 2, if you don't like what I'm singing, you clap. Rule number 3, if you want to pick what I'm singing, I've got a book here full of songs. There's like 500 songs for you to choose from. If you'd like to hear me pick those songs, you can write it down on cash. Write down the name of the song on cash. If you want any big Broadway songs or anything by Queen Heart, ABBA, Tina Turner, Barbra Streisand, Adele, ABBA, Melissa Etheridge, or Pat Benatar, or Shania Twain, or even ABBA, it's $5. I'm worth it. If you want to Venmo me, it's $5.
That's
I'm worth
great.
it.
Yeah.
If you want me and Bobby McGee, it's 10. Or Brown Eyed Girl. If you want anything by Journey or Guns N' Roses, or You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette, it's 20. Christmas crab and meatloaf and American Pie are 50. I'll sing anything for 100. I'll make it up if I have to, except Red Solo Cup, Sweet Caroline, Sweet Home Alabama, Hello by Adele, Wagon Wheel, Margaritaville, and anything by Taylor Swift. Bleep. Okay.
That's great. That's great.
So the people do that. And so if they really want to hear Sweet Caroline, they will put $100 on the bar and I will sing it. And I have one customer, Ian, who loves that song, and he comes in probably once at least every 2 months.
And he always has that song.
I always sing Sweet Caroline for him.
Wow.
And then there's a couple who have to have Sweet Home Alabama. And then there's one who has to have Wagon Wheel. So I'll sing all of those for 100.
Yeah.
I will not sing Red Solo Cup. I will not sing Hello by Adele. And I will not sing anything by Taylor Swift unless you want to pay for my mop sink. Do you want to know how much my mop sink costs?
How much is that?
$1,135. So if you would
that,
like to pay for my mop sink, and I'll put a plaque with your name on my mop sink outside the back door, it's $1,135, and I will destroy you some Taylor Swift.
That is great. What do you'll be shocked one day if somebody does that. You'll be like, really?
Yeah, I will, but I'll do it.
You're right.
In the meantime, I'll be like, shake it off.
Right. There you go. That is great. So you've got a lot of repeat customers, like you were saying. So that's huge.
And they have been really, really following me and keeping in touch. Now, the whole time we were closed, we did lives from it, showing the progress. Ooh, the floor went in. This is what the floor looks like. Look, we painted it red. Every little step we did a live. And when we put in the bar top is an epoxy, and it's a piece of art. And I think Paul's shown you the video. The young lady who did it, Barbie on 38 Barbie, she is my hairdresser. And she does art as well. And she did a piece that's hanging in the bar. And when we knew we were moving, I said to her,
had she ever done a bar top before?
No, she had done a countertop, which is where my piece came from, because that was the test for a countertop for a tattoo parlor in Destin.
Okay.
But it was only like this big, like the counter we're looking at. So when I told her I wanted her to do the bar top, she said, well, how big is it? And I said, it's 26 feet. She said, I can't do that. I can't do that. And I said, well, we have help. So my friend Julie and her boyfriend, Bill used to do epoxy countertops for a living. So he came in and we all came in together and we did the base coat and we laid it out. And then Barbie came in the next day and we were there and Bill, and so she would call the color she wanted next and Bill would blend it and then she would pour it, and the epoxy cooks off really fast. So you have to do it. Like you have to do it all at the same time. Yeah. So it took about 2 hours and we did the whole countertop in all the colors and then let it settle. And then we came in the next night. She came in the next day and she used some like gold pens and stuff to fill in little spots. And then we came in that night and we put the top coat on it. And Bill came in and did the top coat before we got there, and he put in half a packet of diamond dust in the top layer. So I came in and I went, what did you do? And he said, well, I put in diamond dust. I said, did you ask Barbie? Because Barbie's the artist.
Oh, yeah.
I said, did you ask Barbie? And he said, no.
And you're like, oh, no.
I said, oh, okay. We'll see how this goes. So we went down to a bar down the street and had a few drinks while it was setting. And then we came back to just check on it, and Barbie was there with her mom. And I was like, so we're all kind of like, okay, here we go. So Barbie says to Bill, did you put some diamond dust in it? And he said, yeah. And we're all kind of standing back, like holding our breath, like, I love it. And I went, oh, thank God. Okay.
That could have been great, or it could have been like,
It could,
yeah.
right. But it's another point of how many people contributed
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah.
It was, it's not mine. I mean, it's mine, but it's
I know what
not
you're saying,
mine.
right.
It's everybody's. It's everybody's.
Well, and just
Everybody.
the amount of talent you have in your circle, that's impressive.
Yeah,
You know?
the people who work with me, and the people who work with me are amazing too. And just to go backwards just for 1 second to the people from all over. Um, I have regular customers who live in Nashville, um, Knoxville, Memphis, Birmingham, Montgomery, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Houston,
Wow.
St. Louis, all over. And they're all regulars in the way that some of them come 3 or 4 times a year. A lot of Atlanta too, Georgia. Don't let me leave anybody out. There's lots of people. But there's some that come that own places here, so they come down several times a year. There's some that come. I have a family from Misery, as we call it, between
Right.
us. They've been coming to see me since their youngest child was 4. She got her driver's license this year.
And then that makes you think, how is that possible? Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
come every Thanksgiving, and there's either 2 or 4 or 25 of them that come in all at the
And
same
they
time,
all
and they've
come
been
back.
coming every single year. And that is true with snowbirds. I have snowbirds who've been coming to see me since it was Sally's.
Right.
I mean, there's a couple that came in the other night that have been in twice this year to the new location, and they have literally been coming to see me for 15 years.
Isn't it going to be fun when the ones that haven't seen your new place yet come in?
It's
And they're going to be
every
amazed.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
Every
So
day.
what's the reaction when the people see your new spot? That's good. Yeah.
It's great.
And you're also with the new location probably reaching a different dynamic.
Well, I have
or
people who live in that neighborhood behind it, 3906 Highway 98 West, Unit 1. It's in the same plaza as the post office in Santa Rosa Beach. And there's a whole community right behind it. And I've had at least 5 people who live back there just stop in and go, "Oh, we couldn't wait to see it. We knew you were coming, but we've never been in before." And the other thing that's kind of fun about the new location is across the street is the Hope Church. And they do their Sunday services either on the beach or at Shunk Gully. And my chef, Josh, is friends with the pastor. And I said, can I contact him? And, through you. So I literally called before, actually, and we did this before we actually even signed a lease. Like, we did this right in the beginning. And we called him and I said, I want to open Red's Pub in that unit on the end, which is right across the street from your location. And if I needed to get a variance for that, do I have your permission? And he said, "Oh, my parishioners love you."
So they already knew.
Okay, perfect.
Well, and that takes a little
Well, yeah, but
pressure off.
you want to be nice to the neighborhood.
They pray a lot.
Probably for me.
Well, that may be why things worked smoothly, even though it was, when you're in it, it doesn't seem like it's smoothly. But once it's all done, you're like, great.
Smoothly. John, would you say that it was a smooth transition?
Totally
smooth.
without stress.
No stress.
Yeah.
There were many mornings when I woke up and I said, "What the am I doing? Why am I doing this? This is so hard."
And then that's when.
And the hardest part was the license, which just needed a change of address. To get the change of address for the liquor license, I had to have it filled out, the application filled out twice because of a technicality on a page.
Oh gosh.
And that meant going to the tax department, the planning department. The planning department charged me just to have them sign it. I mean, seriously. And that day when I had to go get those signatures again, Paul will tell you, it was not a pretty day because I took the application and I threw it across the living room, which isn't very far because it's a little house. But I said, "I don't want to do this anymore." And this was less than a month ago. And he said, "Well, don't."
And you're like, what? We've gone through this?
Oh. So then I picked myself up and dried my tears and, okay, I can do this.
But now that
And here we are.
Yeah, now that you're in there. So how long have you been open? You've been open just
Legally,
yeah, like 2 or 3 weeks.
a month.
A month.
It's
okay.
actually been a month.
Yeah.
It was actually a month and a week or so. It was technically with the license about a week before Christmas.
You know, when you work for yourself or you have your own business, whatever, however it works out, people never see what you go through. They see the
Well, that's why we
the
tried to make the
results.
lives.
Yeah.
We didn't make the lives of me throwing things, but we could have done that and maybe gotten some sympathy money in the
Right.
mail or something. Here you go,
You never
Red.
know. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, do a GoFundMe page for my stress. Yeah. But that's really neat. So I'm glad that it's all final.
It's
You're
fine.
in,
Everything is good. We're getting our and we got, so another thing that we did was we're trying to do, I mean, of course we have, it's beer and wine license. Now there's so many options out there now that you can use that are wine or malt based. But recently we got in the Palm Folly cider, which is locally brewed right up here on 98. Like
yeah, just it's like a
3 minutes away, and we use some beer from Pensacola, and we have Go Island beer, which is out of Alabama. We've got Back 40 beer, which is out of Alabama. We're not doing the one that comes from Appalachia anymore because they've gone corporate. But when the new guy in Appalachia gets his distribution, I'll start carrying his beer too. So we have all the regular stuff, the Bud Light and the Miller Light and the Coors, but we also are trying to do some local stuff as well. And the way that we have a limoncello, which is a wine-based product, and we have Aperol, which is really popular right now. So we're doing champagne spritzers. Sorry, I have an issue. And we're also doing farm truck mimosas, is what I'm calling them. And farm truck produce is a local person who actually goes to the different farms in the area during season and brings in local produce, meaning local Alabama and Florida and Mississippi and Georgia. And every year we get the satsumas, which are the local oranges that are kind of tangy. And this year I bought 4 cases and we juiced them. And then we got strawberries from Jackson Farms, which is local, just in. And I juiced them and I made ice cubes with satsumas and strawberries. We're taking those and we're selling them as farm truck mimosas. I just touched my microphone. Sorry, guys. And so you can buy mimosa with local satsuma juice and strawberry juice as an ice cube in your prosecco.
That's neat.
So that's supporting local as well.
True.
So all these people support me. I'm trying my best to support them back.
That's good. So what days are you open?
We are there Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
Right now we're 5 to 10-ish. We will be having a happy hour as soon as I have enough staff to staff my happy hour. We'll be doing happy hour from 3 to 5. I'm hoping to start that within the next 2 weeks. That's my goal.
Okay.
We'll have little snacks, deviled eggs, pimento cheese and chips, guacamole and chips, that sort of thing. Little things that you can nibble on.
Right.
And then some happy hour specials. And then dinner's regular dinner menu starts at 5. Dinner is from 5 to 9. I sing on the nights with the T's. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Saturdays, okay.
Today is Friday. No, not Friday. On Friday nights, we have live music. Tonight, for example, is Ed Rand. He's a local musician. I've got Brian Kennedy comes to plays with me, Wes and Mark. I got Mark Harris coming in. I've got Lori Lebowski coming in. So local names.
Okay.
Singles and duos. It's not quite set up for a full band experience. Right. But this is what we're doing now. And then on Wednesday nights, we have Dirty Bingo.
Okay.
This is not your grandma's bingo, and don't bring her or your children. This is adult themed, adult humor bingo for charity, and the charity is Charities of South Walton, which actually support other charities.
Okay.
So, for example, if your charity is wanting to throw a fundraiser, but you don't have the way to take credit cards, they have the way to take credit cards for you.
All right.
Or you need posters printed and you don't have the budget for that, they can print posters for you. So you apply to them to help your charity. So that's what they do.
Interesting.
And they're great. And so we do bingo on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 9, and it's 18 and over.
Okay,
But that's the
so-
only night of the week you can't bring your children.
All of your schedule is on your website.
On my website,
Which is redspub.com.
redspub.com or redsfuel.com or redsbar.com or reds.restaurant or some nonsense you just told me.
Red Stop Restaurant.
And you can also buy the t-shirts there. If you go there, it'll show you can buy the t-shirts to be delivered to your house, or you can just come to my house. And the t-shirts, the current logo on them has something about your friendly little cat drinking up.
Yeah.
How was that?
That
Did I do that good?
Pretty good. I forgot the singingbartender.com too.
Oh, singingbartender.com.
So a lot of ways to reach you then. All
Yes.
right, well, thank you so much for being
Or
with
you could
us
just
today.
call me at 850-325-0252. Make reservations. I strongly suggest them.
All right, good deal. Well, thank you so much for being here today. This
was great fun.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Lux Life Discovered. We'll see you soon.